Right now at 7, what should have been a routine ended in a firefight for officers this weekend. What we know about the Wood County shooting coming up. Plus, Athens police are asking for help after a hit and run killed a woman yesterday morning. The driver still at large. Plus, early voting starts tomorrow. What you need to know before casting your ballot coming up next.
And dense fog causing some very dangerously low visibilities across some parts of the area. We'll talk about how long that'll last coming up in your forecast. So stay right there because Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus starts right now.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus.
Good morning, y'all. 7:05 this morning. I'm Jesus Martinez. Dana Dixon has the morning off.
And I'm meteorologist Joel Robinson. Thank you so much for joining us on CBS 19 Plus. Words are very hard.
Words are hard today. It is Monday.
It is certainly. I got a case of the Mondays.
You got foggy in your brain?
That's one way to put it.
Right. It is foggy out there this morning. With the impact alert for that, but not everyone is seeing it. But we have seen more than we have this morning. It is expanding.
That is one update I definitely do have. There are more counties that are within this dense fog advisory. So let's take a look at those counties that are now within those dense fog advisories. We're now including areas west of Tyler, west of Mineola. So Van Zant, Rains, and Henderson County now within these dense fog advisories, as well as the rest of North Texas and even into the Dallas area at this point within those dense fog advisories. Until 9 o'clock this morning, watch these visibilities down to 0 in Carthage, in Tyler, quarter-mile visibilities in Jacksonville. I certainly would not be too terribly surprised to even see some of our southern counties get added to this dense fog advisory as well. But look at Waxahachie, down to 0-mile visibilities there. Good thing those dense fog advisories were actually expanded there. Now, not looking too bad on a Roberts or Roberts Cam, but you can notice off the distance that is the fog. We had an airport report from Tyler Pounds Regional Airport down to 0 miles of visibility. So not all of Tyler within the fog, but some parts of Tyler certainly within those low visibilities. Upper 30s to the north, further south you go, it gets warmer. You got 55 degrees in Crockett. Got a weather impact alert for us this morning. We'll have another round of fog, potentially even into tomorrow. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s. We'll talk more about that forecast coming up.
All right, Joel, thanks so much. A Wood County deputy and a Texas DPS trooper are expected to make a full recovery after officials say they were shot multiple times while trying to serve felony warrants on a suspect. This happened at a home near FM 515 and FM 2966 on Saturday. A suspect opened fire on law enforcement with a semi-automatic weapon. A Wood County deputy and a DPS trooper were both hit multiple times. The suspect then barricaded himself, sparking an hours-long standoff. After repeated attempts to get him to surrender, officers then entered the home. That's when the suspect fired again. Officers returned fire. The suspect later died at Equipment Hospital. The Wood County Sheriff said tragic events like this leave an entire community searching for answers, including the family of the individual involved. Our thoughts and prayers remain with those as they mourn and struggle to understand how this tragedy unfolded. Meanwhile, Texas Representative for House District 5, Cole Hefner, wrote on Facebook in part, quote, "Our prayers are with the Wood County deputy and the Texas DPS trooper who were injured in the line of duty." This morning, police in Athens need your help finding the driver involved in a deadly hit-and-run crash that killed an Athens woman. Investigators say the crash happened around 7 Sunday morning on FM 2709, just off Highway 19, north of Athens. DPS says the woman was hit by what they believe is a 2016 to 2018 model black Chevrolet Silverado driving west towards Eustis. Officials say the driver left and the pickup likely has damage to the front end or the driver's side. If anyone has information on this, they're urged to contact DPS. You can see that phone number on your screen. We'll also have this information over on our website. The man accused of shooting another man at a Tyler intersection Friday is charged with the murder. 23-year-old Dayton Morgan is in the Smith County Jail this morning on a $1 million bond after a reported road rage incident at the intersection of East Grande Boulevard and Biloxi Drive around 5 on Friday. Police say a male passenger got out of the white Tesla, approached a truck. The truck driver then fired through the glass, striking the man in the neck. Police confirmed there was a female driver and children inside of the Tesla, and the children are safe, but the victim was rushed to the hospital and died from his injuries. That victim, identified as 29-year-old Trevor Julian from White House. Julian graduated from Carthage High School in 2015, and he was also part of the U.S. Marines. During his time, he served as an automotive maintenance technician. 7:09 now. Partial government shutdown is entering its third day with Democrats and Republicans still divided over funding for the Department of Homeland Security and Immigration Enforcement. Bradley Blackburn has more on where things stand and what's being affected by this stalemate.
At airports this morning, TSA lines should be running normally, but checkpoint agents are now working without the promise of a paycheck as the funding fight in Washington continues.
ICE is totally out of control, and they need to be reined in.
Democrats are refusing to fund the Department of Homeland Security, affecting agencies like the TSA, FEMA, and the U.S. Coast Guard because they first want reforms at ICE, including banning face coverings for agents, requiring officers to display ID, and wear body cameras.
Judicial warrants should be required before ICE agents can storm private property or rip everyday Americans out of their homes.
Congress themselves wrote the Immigration Nationality Act that gave power on administrative warrant.
On Face the Nation Sunday, President Trump's border czar Tom Homan said ICE is acting within federal law, but the administration has made changes as criticism of ICE piles up, pulling the surge of agents out of Minnesota. In Minneapolis over the weekend, another memorial was held for Alex Preddy and Renee Good, who were killed by law enforcement agents during the surge. The Minneapolis mayor says the immigration crackdown cost his city $203 million in January alone, and he's now asking the federal government for financial assistance. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Well, Congress is now on recess and won't be back in session until next Monday. That means they'll have just days to reach a deal before some federal workers miss their first paycheck on March 3rd. Meanwhile, the au pair at the center of an elaborate double murder plot in Virginia was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Juliana Magalhaes pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter in October of 2024. A Virginia judge rejected a time-served sentence and gave the maximum penalty. The 25-year-old took the plea to testify against Brandon Banfield, the former IRS agent convicted of killing his wife and another man. Prosecutors said the two began an affair while she was the family's au pair and plotted the murder against Magalhaes. Magalhaes, that is, admitted to luring the male victim to the home and shooting him.
You could have stopped this. The plan did not work without your full involvement. Watching as Mr. Banfield stabbed Christine over and over again. And the facts of this case demonstrate an intentional and calculated level of violence that is the most serious manslaughter scenario that this court has ever seen.
Banfield was convicted earlier this month on multiple counts of murder. He is expected to be sentenced to life in prison later on in May. 7:12 now, time now for your morning headlines. Right now, investigators are testing DNA from a black glove found near Nancy Guthrie's home, which the FBI says appears to match one seen in a surveillance video. Agents also tracked a backpack from that video to a Walmart in Tucson. It's now been more than 2 weeks since Nancy Guthrie was reported missing, and just yesterday, Savannah Guthrie posted a new emotional plea urging whoever has her mother to do the right thing. Baby parents, listen to this. One lot of Tippy Toe's apple, pear, banana puree baby food has been recalled due to high levels of patulin, a toxin that can form from moldy fruit. So far, no illnesses have been reported, but long-term exposure may affect the immune system, nerves, or even cause fever. The product was sold in all U.S. states except Alaska. You are being asked to throw it away or return it for a full refund. Well, tomorrow marks the start of early voting in Texas for the midterm primary election. It runs for 2 weeks all the way through February 27th, that is. Voters will pick which candidates from each party will move on to November's general election. Now, to vote in a primary, you must choose a party. You can't vote in both. If a race goes to a runoff on May 26, you can only vote in the same party's contest. The last day to apply for a ballot by mail is this Friday. And remember, Texas does require voters to show an ID. Options include a Texas driver's license, U.S. passport, even a military ID or other state-issued photo ID. All right, time now, 7:13. Still ahead at just 13 years old. She's racing faster than most and breaking barriers while she's at it. The young barrel racer making history on and off the track. Coming up after the break. 7:14 on this Monday morning. Welcome back. Winning competitors proving that talent has no age limit and no lane at all. At just 13 years old, she's barrel racing her way to more than speed and skill. It's about representation. Simone Simpson has her story.
Brooklyn Burrell's name is meant to echo. She's blazing her own trail in Black history.
Brooklyn is the only African-American youth barrel racer here in the city of San Antonio, in Bexar County, Wilson County, and Guadalupe County.
Go with a cowgirl, Brooklyn Burrell, out of Anchorage, Texas. These are the babies.
Brooklyn won second place in junior barrels at the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo in Fort Worth Saturday.
Let's take Brooklyn home!
She's back in San Antonio to compete in this year's stock show and rodeo. She's not just racing the clock, she's making room for girls and boys who look like her.
I'm just really grateful that people look up to me. But I do love Velvet. She put me in she got me a lot of stuff. She got me in places that I'm very grateful for.
Before boot meets stirrup, Brooklyn says a prayer.
Follow your dreams and keep God in your life. Follow the path that God gives you.
It's way more than a sport. It builds a lot of character.
Brooklyn is competing in the Stock Show and Rodeo's Youth Rodeo on the 26th. We wish you the best of luck, Brooklyn.
Thank you.
The best of luck for sure. Well, make sure to join us for our CBS19 Black History Month special, celebrating resilience across East Texas and the trailblazers who paved the way for future generations. Again, don't miss these powerful stories, airing February 26th at 6:30 p.m. and again on March 1st only on CBS19. Well, here's a reason to smile this morning. The USA women's hockey team won their quarterfinal match this weekend and will take on Sweden tomorrow in the semifinals. Natalie Brand went to Reston, Virginia to meet some of the team's youngest fans who have Olympic dreams of their own.
Fierce and fearless. Girls as young as 4 are facing off and proving their place on the ice.
I really like playing.
What do you like about it?
It's just fun. It can also get your body moving.
Tell me your very favorite thing about being on the ice.
Fighting.
Fighting? A sport teaching toughness, teamwork, and confidence.
The swagger these little girls have when they come off the ice.
Carrie Walker on the Reston Raiders Board of Directors is a hockey mom of 5.
It's tough out there. My older daughter just played a varsity game and got knocked down pretty hard, and you could see her just shake, get back up, and continue on her way. So it's a tough sport, but it really gives this level of resiliency to the kids.
Walker says this hockey team has seen a 50% increase in girls' participation in recent years. USA Hockey says nationwide the number has surged 65% over the past 15 seasons, making it one of the fastest growing youth sports in the country.
Why should girls play hockey?
So they can learn how to skate. Sometimes I kind of do the things on the ice that I don't know how to do.
Like what?
Like flipping the puck in the air. I can learn to jump on the ice without falling.
I learned firsthand it's probably best to start young.
So you shake it like that?
Like 8-year-old Charlotte Carbo.
You need 2 hands on a stick.
These ladies skated circles around me.
I don't think I'm making the Olympic team or any sort of team. Raise your hand if you think you're going to play when you're older, too.
Of course.
With hopes of one day maybe chasing after Olympic gold of their own. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Reston, Virginia.
They're pros at that. Okay, Joel, I don't skate whatsoever.
Oh.
You're from Minnesota. Are you a
No,
pro at it? Not Michigan, sorry.
There
Michigan,
go.
there we go.
There you go.
It's up there.
It's up there.
Do you skate though?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm not a hockey player, but I do skate. I do like to ice skate.
Do you use the little handlebars?
The handlebars to skate? No.
Yeah.
No, I do it all on my own.
I got to learn. This Texas boy needs to learn.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best way to learn is just roller skate for sure.
Don't know how to do that either. What I do know is that it's foggy out there and there's traffic.
Yeah, there's a little bit of fogginess out there. I also want to just give you a little bit of awareness on a vehicle crash that happened just south of Longview. It happened on Estes Parkway, just near Estes Parkway, on I-20, I should say. So westbound traffic is blocked from Estes off-ramp by Gueston to Estes off-ramp near the 595, the exit 595. that is. So if you're heading westbound there, expect some travel delays there, expect some detours to have to take place. Let's take a look at I-20. As far as the report goes, only about 10 extra minutes for you this morning. We definitely have some dense fog that will be an impact for you over to Dallas and into Shreveport. More counties west of our viewing area now within those dense fog advisories, so certainly make sure to be very, very careful. A little over 2.5 hours up to Denison and just a little over an hour and 30 minutes down south into Lufkin. Again, fog, the biggest concern for us this morning. 50 minutes from Jacksonville to Nacogdoches. We got 45 minutes from Tyler to Longview and Tyler to Palestine, up to 50 minutes, 40 minutes from Tyler to Athens. Again, give yourself a little bit of extra time on your way out and make sure to drive nice and slow. CBS19 live radar not showing anything at the moment, but the visibilities, they are definitely low. Down to 0 miles in Carthage, 0 miles in Tyler, down to quarter-mile visibilities in Jacksonville, starting to really spread down to deep East Texas at this point. So again, definitely make sure to take precaution on your way out for this morning. The dense fog will last until 9 o'clock, 40s to start, 70s to wrap up the day. Should be in really good shape. We'll end up with some mostly sunny skies.
All right, here's our question of the day this morning, 7:21 right now. Everyone knows that the Lone Star State has a culture like no other. We'll get to the right one in a minute, but I'll tell you which one it is. Maybe you've eaten a kolache at the rodeo. Maybe you've heard about the cattle, the patches of bluebonnets, Whataburger for breakfast. Why not? So we want to know what's the most Texas. This is for you, Joel. What's the most Texas thing you've done in your six plus months here so far?
Oh, out of the entirety? Or
I guess so, yeah.
Or is it recently?
Entirety.
Oh, entirely? Oh, man. Well, I remember I went to Babe's a couple weeks ago. That's in Frisco. I had some nice country food.
There we go.
Man. So good. Starting to say y'all a little bit more.
He is. He is saying y'all a lot more now.
Yeah, I will say, like, it's starting to spread off to the north as well. I remember some of my friend group, even in Michigan, starting to say y'all.
Starting to say it.
Starting to say it a little bit.
A couple people on Facebook chiming in as well. Jack saying, dodge some tumbleweed out there. Gary saying he cheered for the Cowboys. The most Texas thing you can do, cheer over the Cowboys. Dawn saying, cussing the road construction. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And then I like this one from New York Zipline, spreading over the bluebonnets so they grow as beautiful as they did last year. Joel, the bluebonnets here are amazing.
I've seen them.
You've seen them. Okay.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Even great. All right. Here's the sports.
Morning, y'all. Dan Millay with your sports here. Appreciate you joining us. The Valentine's Day rains cleared up yesterday and set things up for a beautiful night of baseball under the bright lights of Irwin Field, where UT Tyler baseball looked to continue its hot start to the young season. We joined things in the bottom of the second inning here. Pats down 1-0, but threatening with 2 on and 1 out as Cole Ketzner takes ball 4. All right, bases juiced now. Make way for Brock Bearden and start the merry-go-round. The junior gets plunked. Caston Mason scores. Same situation now with Luke Smith stepping up to the dish. Smith hits it on a line towards the middle. Nice diving stop by the second baseman. Tries to get the force at second, but the toss is wide. Tanner Hornback scores, and everybody is safe. Next man up, Connor Clark bounces one back towards the middle. Glove there at short. Spinning throw is not in time at first. Clark safe. Ketzner scores. Here comes Bearden hot on his trail, sliding in safely. Gamble pays off. Pats score 2 on the infield single after Bryce Jewell singled to load him back up. Drew Schmidt sends a bouncer to short. Dust Devils try to turn 2, but Schmidt too quick with it. Comes around. Smith comes around to score. UT Tyler down to its final out of the inning now. And A&M International secures that final out on a well-executed play, stopping the double steal attempt by Tyler. The Pats jump in front 5-1 as we headed into the top of the third inning. And these teams just kept throwing haymakers all night long. Eventually, UT Tyler coming away with a 15-11 victory. Connor Clark picked up 3 hits, drove in 5. Luke Smith picked up a pair of base knocks, drove in 4. Pats secure a series win, and they'll now go for the 4-game sweep today. Out in Nacogdoches yesterday, SFA brought their broomsticks out against Mississippi Valley State as Josh Ebay drills this first inning homer to put the Lumberjacks up 2-0 early, the first long ball of the season for the Jacks. Fast forward to the bottom of the third inning, Ethan Pena pads the lead, shooting this ball down the left field line to bring both Ebay and Mark Henning home. SFA jumps ahead 7-0 by the time the third inning's all said and done, and that was more than enough for starting pitcher Nate Vidlock. week in his Lumberjacks debut. The right-hander tosses 4 innings of no run, no hit ball while striking out 7. In the bottom of the 5th now, Juan Cantua joins the home run parade, blistering this baseball up and out to right at 102 miles an hour. Never a doubt about that one. My goodness gracious, SFA laying the hammer down on Mississippi Valley State as they did all weekend long. In fact, this game didn't even last a full 9 innings. Jacks go on to run rule the Delta Devils 10-0 in 7 as SFA begins its season with a 4-game sweep, and 3 of those 4 games ended via the mercy rule. The boys will now get a day off today before playing 1 more game at home tomorrow night against Huston Tillotson. SFA softball, meanwhile, played 2 yesterday out in Stephenville against Tarleton State, dropping the first game 7-3, but bouncing back to take the second game 6-2. And that's exactly how the season as a whole has gone for the Lady Jacks so far, with an even record of 5-5 after yesterday's contest. Right here, though, we're seeing Ellie Vance drive in a pair, extending that second game lead from 4-2 to what ended up being that final score I mentioned of 6-2. And you're seeing lots of gutsy base running in East Texas yesterday. The ladies will now return home to NAC for a Wednesday night matchup with Prairie View A&M before heading to San Antonio next weekend for the Road Runner Classic. And in some exciting news for Astros fans, Biggio is back. Kevin Biggio, that is, the son of Hall of Fame Stros second baseman Craig Biggio, signed on with Houston on a minor league deal yesterday and reported to camp for a physical yesterday as well, and he'll work out with the club today. Kevin has not been able to find the same kind of success his dad did in the big league, slashing .223, .339, .373. So many numbers, 52 homers and 33 steals in 561 career games. This really is a full circle moment, though, because not only did Kevin watch dad Craig play his entire 20-year career in Houston, Kevin and his brother Connor were both bat boys in uniform in the dugout when Pops collected his 3,000th career hit in 2007. But that's all the time we have for sports. Morning, y'all. Back to y'all.
Good morning, all. I'm Jesus Martinez. Thank you for joining us for this news update. A Wood County deputy and a Texas DPS trooper are expected to make a full recovery after officials say they were shot multiple times trying to serve felony warrants on a suspect. Now, this happened at a home near FM 515 and FM 2966 on Saturday. A suspect opened fire on law enforcement with a semi-automatic weapon. A Wood County deputy and a DPS trooper were both hit multiple times. The suspect then barricaded himself, sparking an hours-long standoff. After repeated attempts to get him to surrender, officers then entered the home. That's when the suspect fired again and officers returned fire. The suspect later died at Equipment Hospital. The Wood County Sheriff's Office says tragic events like this leave an entire community searching for answers, including the family of the individual involved. Our thoughts and prayers are with them as they mourn and struggle to understand how this tragedy unfolded. This morning, police in Athens need your help finding the driver involved in a deadly hit-and-run crash that killed a woman in Athens. Investigators say the crash happened around 7 Sunday morning on FM 2709 near Highway 19 north of Athens. DPS says a woman was hit with what they believe is a 2016 to 2018 model black Chevrolet Silverado driving west towards Eustis. Officials say the driver left and the pickup likely has damage to the front end or the driver's side. Anyone with information is urged to contact DPS. You can find that information on your screen or on our website, CBS19.tv. Well, tomorrow marks the start of early voting in Texas for the midterm primary election. It runs for 2 weeks through February 27th. Voters will pick which candidates from which party will move on to November's general election. Now, to vote in a primary, you must choose a party. You can't vote in both. If a race goes to a runoff on May 26, you can only vote in the same party's contest. The last day to apply for a mail-in ballot, by the way, is this Friday. Remember, Texas does require voters to show an ID. That can be either your driver's license, a U.S. passport, your military ID, or any other state-issued photo ID. All right, let's get a check on that forecast now with Joel. It is foggy this morning. Hopefully it gets better throughout the day.
Yeah, luckily it will. We do have dense fog advisories that are in effect until 9 o'clock this morning. So by the time we get to that point and after, we'll end up with some much better conditions with more sunshine and high temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s. But in the meantime, areas basically along and north of the I-20 corridor are within this dense fog advisory. with visibilities as low as less than a quarter mile at times. So certainly be careful on your way out this morning. Upper 60s and low 70s for the afternoon. Light winds, lots of sunshine overhead. We'll see a little bit more clouds for the beginning of Tuesday with temperatures starting out in the 50s. We'll see maybe a couple of showers here and there, but we'll have another round of some fog in some parts of the area, mainly across deep East Texas. Then 70s for the afternoon with a little bit of a mix of clouds and sun. Clouds really make a return into Wednesday morning. 60s to start, upper 70s to low 80s for the afternoon with a couple of peaks of sunshine. Then 80s by the time we get to Thursday, then back down into the 70s as our next cold front rolls through. And that'll give us our next chance of rain heading into the area for Saturday.
.33 this morning. Welcome back to Morning Y'all here on CBS 19 Plus. This is what's coming up in our second half hour. Schools across East Texas are opting out of an annual school photo with LiveStream after concerning allegations concerning the company's ties come to light. Plus, the search for Nancy Guthrie stretches into a third week now as the investigation continues to search for leads. The latest on that case coming up.
And some dense fog leading to some dangerously low visibilities across some of the area. You can see 0 miles of visibility recorded in some parts of the area. I'll show you just how long that'll last coming up in your forecast later this half hour.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus.
Good morning, y'all. Thanks so much for staying with us here on CBS 19 Plus. I'm Jesus Martinez. Dana Dixon has the day off. Well, the search for Nancy Guthrie, the mother of today's show host, Savannah Guthrie, is entering its third week now. Law enforcement confirms they've uncovered DNA in multiple pieces of evidence. Unfortunately, no suspects or persons of interest have been identified. Lee Waldman brings us up to speed on the latest on this investigation.
To whoever has her or knows where she is, it's never too late.
Savannah Guthrie making a new plea to her mother, Nancy Guthrie's apparent kidnappers. It's never too late to do what's right.
We believe in the essential goodness of every human being.
This weekend, the FBI says a glove recovered near the home by investigators believed to visibly match the one worn by a masked individual seen on doorbell camera video has DNA. It's currently undergoing forensic testing in an effort to identify a potential suspect.
These are very, very strong and definitive updates.
Experts say the DNA will be run through criminal databases to determine if it matches a known criminal. Authorities will also likely be submitting the evidence to third-party DNA mapping services offered to the public. Neighbors within a 2-mile radius of Guthrie's home are still being asked to submit any surveillance camera footage to authorities. CNN previously reported the FBI was fully engaged in offering resources to local authorities by February 2nd. However, one neighbor wonders if that help came too late.
The sheriff is a very experienced veteran of law enforcement, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's experienced with what this case is all about. And I mean, I feel like they invited the FBI in, or the FBI came in pretty quickly, but maybe it wasn't quite quickly enough.
In the Catalina foothills, I'm Lee Waldman.
Well, the partial government shutdown continues with no new action to reopen the Department of Homeland Security. More than 26,000 workers remain affected across agencies like the TSA, FEMA, and the Coast Guard, while lawmakers debate how to move forward. House Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries called for major reforms for immigration agents following recent tensions up in Minnesota.
Why is it that ICE agents who are untrained are being unleashed on American communities with this type of lawlessness, violence, and brutality?
Republicans are pushing back while officials warn federal agents are facing increased threats. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry says the crackdown cost them hundreds of millions of dollars in January alone and is calling for the federal assistance. Congress returns February 23rd with only days to prevent federal workers from missing their paychecks on March 3rd. Police are investigating after someone vandalized the Republican Party headquarters in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Sometime between Friday night and early Saturday morning, someone spray-painted pedophile protectors on the front window, and about a dozen eggs were thrown onto the building. The building owner noticed the vandalism on Saturday. Police are reviewing camera footage in the area, and they're offering a $1,000 reward for any information that leads to an arrest. Closer to home, an East Texas school employee is behind bars accused of misusing nearly $130,000 in school district funds. Karnak ISD Financial Director Courtney Johnson is accused of misusing those funds for her personal expenses. Investigators say the superintendent reported financial discrepancies earlier this month. An investigation then found Johnson made unauthorized credit card purchases with the district money. Johnson was booked into the Harrison County Jail. Her bond was set at $100,000 and she was released on Friday. Kilgore ISD is joining a growing list of schools putting all student photo sessions with LifeTouch, a photography company, on hold as the district reviews recent reports about the company's parent company. They wrote on Facebook in a statement, the district is fully assessing this matter and will postpone all current scheduled pictures with LifeTouch to allow to better understand the information we are hearing. They also went on to say, we appreciate your understanding as we complete this process. Now, Kilgore ISD isn't the only school district either. Several other school districts across East Texas are postponing their photo sessions with LifeTouch, a major school photography company. This all comes after the alleged ties surfaced between the former CEO of its parent company, Apollo, and Jeffrey Epstein. CBS 19's Robert De La Garza spoke with East Texas parents about their concerns and what some school districts are now saying.
Just days after alleged connections involving Leon Black, the former CEO of LifeTouch's parent company Apollo, were mentioned in newly released Epstein files. The company has since responded, saying LifeTouch is not named in the documents, and there are no allegations involving the company or student photos. In a statement, current LifeTouch Group CEO Ken Murphy says, quote, student images are safeguarded for families and schools only, never shared, sold, or used to train AI, and that Apollo has no role in LifeTouch's daily operations or access to photos.
And the idea that anybody could have access to that and share it to somebody that doesn't have our children's best interest at heart is horrifying, honestly.
Lilith Silvestris has one child in Westwood ISD and another entering the district next year. Tuesday, the school district shared on social media the statement from LifeTouch saying they are aware of the situation.
Terrifying to think that my daughter could go to school, get her picture taken, and then somebody else have access to that.
But other districts have already taken action. Van ISD announced Friday it was ending its partnership with LifeTouch, canceling the remaining student photo sessions for the rest of the school year.
with AI and everything, they can be used in videos that they're not even in, X-rated videos, and things that could ruin their own reputation later in life that they weren't even a part of.
Professional photographer Stephanie Hampton is also a parent of students at Van ISD.
So it does make me feel better as a parent, whether they choose to use someone locally or they choose to use their own yearbook staff or their own employees. At least the data is not being spread through these huge corporations. And
parents we spoke to say they hope this encourages other districts to consider local alternatives and keep student images closer to home.
I think cutting LifeTouch out is the best decision right now, because even if it isn't true, I don't like taking the risk, and I don't think they would like to take the risk either of what if it is true, because that's horrifying to think of if it is true.
For CBS 19, I'm Robert De La Garza.
An Athens man is behind bars accused of distributing marijuana and cocaine after deputies found drugs, guns, and other items related to drug sale. According to the Henderson County Sheriff's Office, while executing a search at a home for a warrant at a traffic stop, deputies found several bags of marijuana inside a duffel bag. They also found THC vape cartridges and digital scales and a firearm and a suppressor. He is facing drug-related charges and unlawful possession by a firearm by a felon. All right, 7:40 this morning. Took a look at this. Fire officials believe a lightning strike caused a wind turbine to catch fire. It happened on Saturday as storms moved through the Breckenridge area, which is roughly 90 miles west of Fort Worth. The Breckenridge Fire Department posted this video on Facebook. You can see the flames burning on that turbine and the bottom of the windmill. No injuries have been reported at this time. Well, one Missouri toddler was living the ultimate dream during a recent visitation at a recreation center. The 2-year-old was playing with some plastic balls while inside a claw machine. Steve Harris spoke with the mother about how it all went down.
Cooper King is not a fan of microphones.
No way.
But he does like cars, candy,
What would they?
and plastic balls. The kind you find in this claw machine.
Anyone knew my son Cooper, they would totally understand that he would do something like this.
So over the weekend, Cooper's family came to Webster Groves to the soccer dome to watch his brother play soccer.
I literally glanced over there. He was pretend playing with the claw machine.
But it wasn't a soccer ball Cooper was interested in.
I looked away for, I would say, maybe 15 seconds.
Then she heard somebody yell.
They were just like, Cooper, your son is in the claw machine. And I just like...
You heard that right. Somehow, Cooper climbed into the claw machine. And he was having the time of his life.
He's laughing, throwing balls everywhere.
Once Meg realized that Cooper was okay, better than okay, actually, the question became how to get him out.
We were like, Cooper, try and go back down. And he was just like shaking his head.
They called 911.
Webster Groves Fire Department and police officer showed up within 5 minutes. They were, laughing. They were like, can we take a picture? I'm like, yes, of course. I've already sent this to my friends, my family.
But eventually someone from the vending company showed up with the key and freed Cooper from his private playground. Now he's become a social media sensation.
I didn't think it was going to go this big.
Someone jokingly asked, why didn't they just use the claw to get Cooper out?
I was going to comment back, I didn't have enough change since he used it all.
At first, Meg was surprised by all the attention, but now she gets it.
In today's world, I just think everyone needs something funny on their TV. And what's not funny about a 2-year-old playing in a claw machine?
That was my first question, too. Why not use the little claw?
Right, probably a little heavy.
Right.
Probably a little heavy.
Imagine
that's
if
hilarious.
if they didn't have the key to open the door up.
Yeah, that would be, I mean, I guess you could probably have the kid go into the little thing where it drops.
I'm sure the firefighters would have done something, right?
Yeah, but thankfully it was, I think the key was the much safer route to go, for sure.
Man. I've always wanted to be inside one of those.
Yeah.
I don't think so anymore.
Yeah, we're a little bit big.
All right, over in Las Vegas, hundreds of people of all abilities gathered for the 3rd annual Dazzle Prom, celebrating love and friendship on Valentine's Day weekend. Attendee Benjamin Ray says that sometimes adults with disabilities don't always get the attention they desire, but it's events like this that make it feel like it all matters. How cool is that? I know there's an organization here, Texas Special Projects, that does something similar to that. They do it for Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving. They're an amazing organization. They do great things here in East Texas.
Well, they look like they're having fun.
That's all they need. That's all you need, right? Just a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
The 2026 Toy Fair is underway in New York, and among the brands unveiling are the new toys, are the Lego with its new Smart Play Star Wars set, and Mattel, which showed new lineups of its Hot Wheels and Masters of the Universe figures. There's some pictures of them. The Toy Fair runs through tomorrow. So we were talking about this earlier and how all these toys are like getting modern, if that's the word for it.
They're getting advanced.
Advanced,
they're
yeah.
getting really advanced. These Legos, they're becoming even more elaborate. And I'm noticing even the Hot Wheels sets are just really involved too. That was my jam. Hot Wheels, Monster Jam, and Legos. Oh, that was my jam.
Legos and cars were my thing. And as a kid, I was like, I want to be an architect because I would build like, all these like buildings, and I had these cars for like these parking garages and stuff. And I was like, let's do that. And then math is not my strong suit. So I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Math is your strong suit, though.
It is.
You need a lot of it today.
Oh, thankfully, a lot of the computer data does it for me. Thankfully, I don't have to calculate anything. Thank goodness. But thank goodness for the computer models that help us out a little bit when we forecast. But yeah, we are watching for some areas of fog this morning. Dense fog advisories are in effect. And so we do have a weather impact alert for you until 9 o'clock this morning. We have more counties that are within this dense fog advisory, including Henderson, Van Zandt, all the way up to Rains County and areas further to the west, now including Dallas. We have fog in some parts of the area that are really reducing visibilities quite a bit, down to 0 mile visibilities in Carthage, extending into Tyler, Waxahachie, down to 0 at this point, Scurry down to ½ mile visibility. So if you're heading over to Dallas, or shoot, even over to Shreveport, starting to really get low there. I-20, definitely can expect some very slow travel at some points. Definitely make sure to be careful. You can kind of see the fog out into the distance. Tyler Pounds Regional Airport recording 0 mile visibilities there. But you notice on the south side of town where this camera is, really no fog, but you can see it out into the distance. If you're heading into the northern parts of town, especially near the airport, definitely expect some lower visibilities. You can see it out to the distance. Upper 30s to the north, along and north of I-20. You go further to the south, we got some 50s, 54 at Crockett, 44 at Nacogdoches, and also 43 in Center. A pretty chilly start to the day. Of course, very foggy as well. One up with some more sunshine for the end of the day. We're already kind of starting to see that a little bit. 70s for the afternoon. A very comfortable day to be outside. 73 for the afternoon high, 76 for tomorrow. We could have a little bit more fog tomorrow, so we'll keep an eye out for that. A couple showers could be possible as well. Up to 79 for your day on Wednesday with mostly cloudy skies, and there will be a cold front that comes through later in the week, bringing down those temperatures. We'll take a look at the numbers coming up.
All right, Joel, thanks so much. 7:46 right now. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back here on CBS 19+. Our 7:49 this morning. For older women, more muscular strength may lead to a longer life. A study published on the JAMA tested the strength of women over 63 by measuring their grip strength and how fast they could stand up from a chair. They found that women with more muscular strength lived longer even if they weren't exercising enough. The findings suggest that maintaining strength is key to a healthy aging. New research challenges the effectiveness of intermittent fasting. A Cochrane study found that the popular weight loss trend was no more effective than other dieting plans in helping overweight people drop a few pounds. The study's author says intermittent fasting may be a reasonable option for some, but the evidence doesn't justify the hype. College students who spend hours on social media are more likely to be lonely. A study published in the Journal of American College Health found that the more people use social media, the lonelier they felt, with the heaviest social media users 38% more likely to feel isolated from others. But researchers say they're not sure whether social media use leads to loneliness or vice versa. Cardiac rehab is key after a heart attack or heart surgery, yet data shows many patients, especially women, are not getting that rehab they need. During this Heart Month, Bradley Blackburn shows us how rehab is important for that recovery.
You'll find Jennifer Reich here 3 times a week, but this isn't her usual workout. She's doing cardiac rehab at Northwell Health, prescribed after heart surgery last fall to repair an aortic valve and an aortic aneurysm.
I exercise. I'm a fairly healthy weight. I eat right. How does this happen? Unfortunately, they said it happens. It was a good thing it was picked up.
The 53-year-old mom and health phys ed teacher was eager to get right back to her active lifestyle, but says that wasn't easy.
That was one of the big things. A lot of it, there's some fear there. Is this too much? Am I supposed to feel this way? Here, they're monitoring you. They're taking your blood pressure, their heart rate. How you feeling?
The rehab team develops a structured recovery plan for patients that includes exercise, nutrition, and wellness.
We know through the evidence they have better outcomes, they're back on their feet quicker, and they have the confidence that they need to move on with their day-to-day activities and recover after these major events.
Dr. Neil Shah says research shows women are referred less often and complete fewer sessions of cardiac rehab than men.
You know, women are taking care of their families, they have work obligations. Rates of depression are also higher in women. All of these factors combined have led to the lower rates of enrollment with women, which is something that we're really working on improving.
First it was hard. I said push through, so I did a lower number.
This is week 3 of Jennifer's 12-week program.
It's moving along. But again, coming here is important because I think also some of the stuff was the fear holding me back. And here I don't have to worry about it.
She's now on track for a full recovery. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
All right, good morning, everybody. Let's get into your forecast. Weather impact alert for this morning for the dense fog that we've been tracking all throughout the morning until 9 a.m. All of our northern counties at this point are within this dense fog advisory for visibilities as low as 0, all the way from Mount Pleasant through Gilmer into Tyler, down to 0 there, 0 mile visibilities in Carthage, and down to a less than a quarter mile visibility in Longview. So the advisory definitely holding true here, as those visibilities really are going down quite a bit and are really causing some issues out there. Luckily, they won't be lasting for too much longer. We got some sunshine coming out, and that'll help burn away the fog, and temperatures will shoot for the upper 60s and low 70s with some fairly light winds. We'll start to see the winds increase for tomorrow. We'll have a couple of areas of fog possible for tomorrow morning, but it's really going to depend on the wind speed. If the wind speed is fast enough, we'll blow all the fog away. We'll end up with maybe just a few showers, but certainly some breezy conditions nonetheless. Lots of sunshine for today, upper 60s and low 70s. Very beautiful day to get outside. A little bit more moisture coming in from the south for tomorrow. We'll start out roughly the same temperature, upper 40s and low 50s, with a couple of showers that also could be possible as well. And that's going to be from that moisture coming in from the Gulf. And by the afternoon, all of that should be out of there. Upper 60s to low 70s, and we'll have some more peaks of sunshine as well, with some breezy south winds, potentially gusting between 20 and 25 miles per hour. Clouds make a huge return into Wednesday morning. 60s to start, mix of clouds and sun, and 70s to near 80 for the end of Wednesday. High pressure continuing to be in control until we get our next cold front into Thursday into Friday. That could spark off a couple of showers, maybe even some thunderstorms for the weekend, and of course trigger some cooler temperatures as well. Not expecting too much out of the way of rainfall, but we'll definitely keep an eye on that for you. 80s, then back down to the 70s towards the end of the week, possibly down into the 60s even by Sunday.
All right, Joel, thanks so much. Let's get back to this not water cooler question. That was the other show.
That's right.
That was the other show. Daily topic question. What's the most Texas thing you've done lately? We talked about going to a country restaurant. We talked about cheering for the
Yes.
Cowboys. What's the most Texas thing I've done?
Yeah.
Born and raised here. I don't know. I did ride a goat when I was a kid.
Live in Texas.
I live in
That's
Texas.
A Texas
That's the most
thing
Texas thing you can do.
I guess that would be me too.
Right, I did ride a goat when I was 3 years old. I have a picture of it. Don't remember when it happened, but there's pictures and there's evidence of that.
Oh, nice.
Let's see, yeehaw, that's for sure. Let's see what folks on Facebook are saying. Rain and the heat in the air the same day. It is humid and sticky. Over
yeah.
the summers.
Absolutely. Oh, how about actually seeing a longhorn?
There we go. Have you?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Okay,
Absolutely.
we're checking some things off your list.
Yep.
Keep saying frozen and sweated on the same day. No, that's right. Let's see some other people saying dodged cow patties while walking out of a pasture. Lots of cows out there and some tumbleweeds out there. Man, lots of Texas things we can do. There's Bluebell, there's Whataburger. Have you had Whataburger yet?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had Whataburger.
The butter biscuit sandwich?
I've not had that.
Ooh, I know what we're doing later this week.
All right. At Whataburger?
Yeah, Whataburger.
Oh, man,
their burritos, too.
Yeah, okay. I've had their burritos.
Okay.
I've had the burritos.
We're doing a lot of the
Yeah, I've had a
checklist.
lot of things on their menu, but I have not had that.
That?
Yes.
We'll do it.
So I think I need to check some more Texas things off the list, right?
Let us know what Joel needs, and then we'll go from there. We're going to check it all off for Joel.
Cool.
All right, we're about to step out for a quick moment while we do over-the-air broadcast with a quick news update. In the meantime, we'll be right back here on CBS 19 Plus. Good morning, all. I'm Jesus Martinez. Thank you for joining us for this news update. The man accused of shooting another man at a Tyler intersection Friday is charged with murder now. 23-year-old Dayton Morgan is in the Smith County Jail this morning on a $1 million bond after a reported road rage incident at that intersection of East Grande Boulevard and Biloxi Drive around 5 p.m. on Friday. Now, police say a male passenger got out of the white Tesla and approached a truck. That truck driver, which was driven by Morgan, then fired through the glass, striking the man in the neck. Police confirmed there was a female driver and children inside the Tesla, and the children are safe, but the victim was rushed to the hospital and died from his injuries. That victim was identified as 29-year-old Trevor Julian from White House. Julian graduated from Carthage High School back in 2015, and according to a 2017 post from the U.S. Marines, he served at the time as an automotive maintenance technician with headquarters in Regiment. An East Texas school employee is behind bars accused of misusing nearly $130,000 in school district funds. Karnak ISD Financial Director Courtney Johnson is accused of misusing those funds for her personal expenses. Investigators say the superintendent reported financial discrepancies earlier this month. An investigation then found Johnson made unauthorized credit card purchases with district money. Johnson was booked into the Harrison County Jail on a $100,000 bond and was released on Friday. Kilgore ISD is joining a growing list of schools putting all student photo sessions with LifeTouch, a photography company, for schools on hold as the district reviews recent reports about the company's parent company. They wrote in a statement on Facebook, the district is fully assessing this matter and will postpone all current scheduled picture events with Live Touch to allow better time to understand the information we are hearing. The district also said, we appreciate your understanding as we complete this process. An Athens man is behind bars accused of distributing marijuana and cocaine after deputies found drugs, guns, and other related items related to drug sales. The Henderson County Sheriff's Office says deputies stopped an SUV Friday afternoon on County Road 3925. As they pulled the vehicle over, investigators say the driver tossed a bag containing suspected cocaine. A search warrant at a home then turned up large amounts of marijuana, THC vape cartridges, cash, scales, custom baggies, plus a firearm and a suppressor. David Gallegos now faces multiple charges. All right, let's get a check on that forecast now with Joel. How's it looking out there?
Yeah, we still got those dense fog advisories that continue to be in effect and now include some of our western counties and even into the Dallas area. Visibility is as low as 0 at times. Certainly want to make sure you're being very careful. Drive nice and slow. Leave with a little bit of extra time if you can this morning. Upper 60s and low 70s with lots of sunshine for the afternoon. Light winds out of the south that will begin to pick up into tonight. We'll see a little bit more moisture and possibly a little bit more fog, and even the chance for maybe a few sprinkles into Tuesday morning. Winds will really start to pick up for the afternoon, possibly gusting between 20 and 25 miles per hour. We'll see a little bit more sunshine for the afternoon as well into Tuesday. Upper 60s and low 70s, and then we'll see temperatures in the 60s for the start of Wednesday, upper 70s to low 80s for Thursday, before we cool into the low 70s for the weekend. All right, welcome back. Here is one more look at that forecast. Before you head out, we got a weather impact alert in place for this morning. We have dense fog advisories along and north of I-20, also including areas like Henderson and Carthage. That's going to go until 9 o'clock. Visibility is really dropping at this point, down to 0-mile visibilities in some parts of the area. So again, as you're heading out, certainly make sure to drive very slowly. Definitely leave with a little bit of extra time if you can as well. This fog will start to lift a little after 9 o'clock this morning, so that'll be some good news there. We'll end up with some sunshine for the afternoon. Highs near 73. We'll have another round of potential fog for Tuesday morning as well. Then temperatures continue to climb from there into the low 80s, then back down to the 70s for the later parts of this week as we introduce our next cold front. Could also have our next chance of rain on Saturday. We'll keep you posted.
Well, after getting sick in December, Brian Walls was in desperate need of a miracle. Little did he know, doctors found his perfect match in an unexpected way. Desiree Montilla tells us more.
Well, okay, wait a minute. You've cooked some stuff.
Sitting on the couch, Brian Walls and his granddaughter, Michaela Hayes, reminisce. Laughs filling the living room, providing peace during a time of healing.
I started getting ill. No one could really figure out, the doctors couldn't really figure out what was going on with me.
Over 2 years ago, Brian Walls was diagnosed with NASH, a form of liver disease, and needed a transplant.
I got on the list for a transplant. I was on that for a couple years, and it just nothing really come about with it.
But in December, Walls's health quickly went downhill. While fighting for his life in the hospital, little did he know a donor was on standby.
I just knew that it was meant to be.
The perfect match, turning out to be his 25-year-old granddaughter.
It was a blessing, a miracle, something that no one could have ever expected.
On December 23rd, Michaela donated a portion of her liver to her grandpa, a Christmas miracle, giving Brian a second chance.
It was just an instant change in my life, and God's blessed me, and with the family that has looked after me.
An outcome meaning everything to Michaela, coming 1 year after a heartbreaking loss for the family.
1 year before the surgery was when my not stepdad, but second dad passed away from cancer. I mean, it means more than just saving someone's life. He's awesome.
As Brian recovers, he encourages everyone to see if they could be a living donor, to give the gift of life.
You never know when someone's in need and can't get a transplant, either the liver or kidney or whatever the case may be.
Like what we mentioned at the end, you never know, especially when it's like your own family that gives you that organ transplant. Like, you can get, an organ transplant from a stranger, but it's just more meaningful when it comes from someone you know.
Even more meaningful. That's a beautiful
awesome.
story right there.
All right, well, thanks so much for continuing your day with us here in Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus. Catch the noon show coming up later this afternoon. Keep it here for the latest news and weather throughout the day. Have a great Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow.